You're flying the most lethal attack helicopter ever built, the AH-64 Apache, a machine designed for one purpose and one purpose only, to find things and destroy them. You're sitting in the front seat of the tandem cockpit, 300 meters above the Mongolian steppe, looking down through your TADS targeting system at what stretches across the plain below you. And what you see has no parallel in modern warfare. The Mongol horde. Over 100,000 soldiers, cavalry, the most mobile, most lethal, most tactically sophisticated mounted force in human history. They stretch across the steppe for as far as your optics can see. Horses and riders moving in coordinated formations that have conquered everything from China to Persia to Eastern Europe. Felt tents and supply wagons and herds of remount horses filling the valleys behind the main formation. Smoke from 1,000 campfires rising into the cold morning air. Scouts on fast horses ranging 10 kilometers ahead of the main body, watching every direction. They haven't seen you yet. You are hovering at 300 meters, engine noise carried away by the wind, rotor blades invisible against the gray morning sky. Your FLIR sensor is painting the entire formation in thermal signatures. 100,000 bodies generating heat, 100,000 horses generating heat. The image on your display looks like a city seen from altitude, a moving, breathing, living city of men and animals that has never lost a war. Genghis Khan is down there somewhere, the Great Khan, Temujin, the man who was born with a blood clot in his fist, who united the fractured Mongol tribes through violence and genius, who created a military system so effective that it would not be truly understood by Western military historians for 700 years. He is down there in the center of the formation, surrounded by his generals, planning the destruction of the next city on his list. He has no idea what is above him. The AH-64 Apache, 17.7 meters long, 14.6 meters rotor diameter, maximum takeoff weight of 10,400 kilograms, powered by two General Electric T700 turboshaft engines, generating 1,890 shaft horsepower each, maximum speed of 293 kilometers per hour in level flight, 365 kilometers per hour in a dive, service ceiling of 6,400 meters, range of 480 kilometers on internal fuel. But the numbers that matter are the weapons. The M230 30mm chain gun mounted under the nose, firing at 625 rounds per minute. Each round is an explosive projectile 30 millimeters in diameter, traveling at 805 meters per second. The effective range against personnel and light vehicles is 1,500 meters. Against a massed cavalry formation with no armor, no cover, and no understanding of what is shooting at them, the effective range is whatever distance you choose to engage from. You carry 1,200 rounds of 30mm ammunition. You carry 76 Hydra 70 unguided rockets in 4 pods. Each rocket carries a warhead capable of destroying everything within 10 meters of radius. Against massed cavalry formations, the Hydra rockets are not precision weapons. They do not need to be. You are not trying to hit individual targets. You are trying to hit a formation 500 meters wide and 2 kilometers long. You carry 16 AGM-114 Hellfires, laser-guided, range of 8 kilometers. Each Hellfire carries an 8-kilogram shaped charge warhead designed to penetrate tank armor. Against horses and men and wooden wagons and felt tents, the Hellfire is catastrophically over-engineered. It does not matter. It will do what it does regardless of what it hits. You have a TADS/PNVS system, target acquisition and designation site combined with a pilot night vision system. Your targeting computer tracks moving objects and calculates lead angles automatically. You can engage a target moving at 50 kilometers per hour from 1,500 meters away in complete darkness and hit it. The Mongol cavalry moves at 40 kilometers per hour at full gallop. You have a radar warning receiver. You have a missile approach warning system. You have chaff and flare dispensers for incoming threats. There are no incoming threats. The Mongols do not have radar. They do not have missiles. Their most advanced ranged weapon is the composite bow. Effective range of 300 meters against stationary targets, maximum range of 500 meters in an arcing trajectory. You are at 300 meters altitude and climbing. Their arrows cannot reach you. Even if they could, a single arrow striking a rotor blade at combat speed would not bring down this aircraft. The Mongols have no answer to what is above them. You switch your FLIR to wide area scan and look at the full formation. Your targeting computer is already painting priority targets, concentrations of riders, supply lines, the command element in the center where the density of horses is highest, and the banner standards are clustered. The computer sees 47 priority targets in the first pass. You have enough ammunition to engage all 47 targets and return to base. You decide to let them see you first. You push the cyclic forward and descend to 150 meters. You fly directly over the front edge of the Mongol formation at 180 kilometers per hour. The rotor noise hits the formation like a physical wave. 100,000 men and 300,000 horses react simultaneously. Horses rear, riders struggle for control. The disciplined Mongol formations that have held their shape through thunderstorms and ambushes and the chaos of 100 battles begin to fracture at the edges as animals respond to a sound they have never heard and cannot process. You make one pass at low altitude. You fire nothing. You simply let them see you. The reaction is immediate and total. Mongol warriors are pointing. Some are drawing bows. Arrows rise toward you in arcing trajectories, falling short by 100 meters, 80 meters, 50 meters. None reach you. You watch the arrows on your optical display with something approaching curiosity. The most feared archers in the world, men could hit a moving target from horseback at 200 meters, are shooting at you from the ground and reaching nothing. The Mongol scouts are riding hard back to the main formation. Riders are breaking away from the flanks to report to the command element. You can see on your FLIR display the increased activity in the center of the formation, where Genghis Khan's command group is located. Horses moving rapidly, riders converging, the command structure trying to process information it has no framework to process. A flying demon, that is what they will call you. A dragon made of metal with spinning wings and a voice like continuous thunder. The shamans in the Mongol camp are already performing emergency rituals. Prayer flags are being raised. Offerings are being made. The most practically minded military commanders in the history of mounted warfare are watching their men look at the sky and forget their training. Genghis Khan does not forget his training. You watch on your FLIR as the command element makes a decision. The formation begins to shift. The Mongol cavalry is reorganizing, splitting into smaller, faster groups, dispersing across the steppe in multiple directions. It is tactically brilliant and completely instinctive. The Mongol answer to an unknown threat has always been dispersion and mobility. You cannot catch what you cannot catch. You cannot catch what disperses in 20 directions simultaneously. It is the strategy that defeated every army that tried to meet them in conventional battle. It will not work against you. Your FLIR tracks all of them. Your targeting computer maintains contact with every thermal signature on the plane. You watch 100,000 men and 300,000 horses begin to scatter across the steppe in every direction, and you understand that from your position at 300 meters altitude, with a sensor that sees heat through darkness and dust and distance, there is nowhere on this plane they can go that you cannot follow. You select the chain gun. The first target is a formation of 200 heavy cavalry on your left flank. These are the elite of the Mongol army. Armored in lamellar plates, riding the largest horses, carrying lances and sabers in addition to their bows. They are the shock troops that have broken Chinese walls and Russian armies and Polish knights. They are riding hard to the north, trying to get distance from the flying demon. You roll left and descend to 100 meters. You match their speed at 40 kilometers per hour, flying alongside the formation at 800 meters distance. Your TADS locks the targeting reticle on the center of the formation. The system calculates the lead angle automatically. You squeeze the trigger. The M230 chain gun fires. The sound is not like anything that exists in the 13th century. It is not a crack or a boom or a roar. It is a mechanical tearing sound, a continuous ripping that lasts for 3 seconds as 31 rounds leave the gun at 625 rounds per minute. The rounds travel to the target in less than 1 second. They arrive before the sound of the gun reaches the formation. 12 horses and riders cease to exist in the center of the formation. The explosive rounds detonate on impact. The riders alongside the impact points are thrown from their horses by the blast waves. Horses are screaming and bolting in every direction. The formation that was 200 riders a moment ago is now a chaos of panicking animals and fallen men spread across 400 meters of steppe. You fire again. Another 3-second burst, another 31 rounds, another section of the formation destroyed. The survivors are scattering, individual riders galloping in random directions. Your FLIR tracks all of them. Your targeting computer offers you individual solutions for each rider. You decline. There are 99,800 more soldiers on this plane, and you have priorities. You climb back to 300 meters and turn toward the main body. The Mongol command element has seen what the chain gun does. Riders who watched the heavy cavalry formation destroyed are already carrying the report back. The flying demon has a voice that kills. It speaks and men die. It speaks again and more men die. There is no shield against it. There is no armor thick enough. There is no distance far enough because the flying demon moves faster than any horse alive. Genghis Khan receives the report. He has built his entire military philosophy on the idea that mobility is the supreme military advantage. Move faster than the enemy, strike before the enemy can respond, disappear before a response can be organized. His cavalry can cover 100 kilometers in a day. His scouts range 200 kilometers ahead of the main body. His armies have appeared in places that his enemies believed were unreachable, struck with devastating force, and vanished before a response could be organized. Now he is receiving reports that the flying demon can move at 300 kilometers per hour. His fastest horse covers 60 kilometers per hour for short distances. His remount system allows his cavalry to maintain 100 kilometers per day over extended distances. The flying demon covers 300 kilometers per hour continuously. It does not need remount horses. It does not need to stop. It does not tire. The great Khan understands something that his enemies took decades to learn about him. He understands it immediately because he is the most tactically gifted commander of his era, possibly of any era. He understands that his supreme advantage, the thing that has made his army invincible across half the known world, has been negated by a single machine. The Mongols cannot outrun you. You push forward on the cyclic and accelerate toward the main body of the formation. You load a Hydra rocket pod and select a ripple fire pattern. Below you, the main Mongol formation is still trying to disperse, but 100,000 men and 300,000 horses cannot disperse quickly enough. The center of the formation is still dense, standards are still flying, officers are still trying to maintain unit cohesion even as the soldiers around them are looking at the sky. You fire a ripple of 12 Hydra rockets into the center of the Mongol army. 12 warheads detonate in a line 400 meters long through the heart of the Mongol army. The explosions are not individual, they are continuous, overlapping, a rolling detonation that tears through the formation from one end to the other in less than 2 seconds. The blast waves interact and reinforce each other. The area of destruction is not 12 separate circles, it is a continuous corridor of fire and fragmentation, 400 meters long and 30 meters wide. The Mongol center breaks. Not retreats, breaks. The disciplined formations that have held their shape through every battle the Mongol army has ever fought simply cease to exist as organized units. Horses are running in every direction, riders are down, standards are fallen. The command element that was in the center of the formation has scattered to the edges. Officers who were coordinating the dispersal are no longer coordinating anything. You climb to 500 meters and switch back to wide area FLIR scan. The formation that was 100,000 soldiers in coordinated movement 30 minutes ago is now 100,000 individuals running in 100,000 different directions. The steppe is covered with thermal signatures moving away from the center point of the Hydra strike.
Your targeting computer tracks them all. It does not lose a single signature. It doesn't matter how far they run. It doesn't matter which direction they choose. The sensor sees them all simultaneously. You select a Hellfire and designate the largest concentration of riders trying to escape to the east. The laser designator paints the target. The Hellfire leaves the rail. 8 kilometers. The missile flies itself to the laser point. The warhead designed to penetrate tank armor detonates in the center of a group of Mongol heavy cavalry. The explosion is catastrophic. Everything within 15 meters of the impact point is destroyed instantly. Everything within 30 meters is thrown by the blast. The horses beyond 30 meters bolt and scatter, throwing riders, colliding with each other, compounding the chaos. You fire the second Hellfire to the west, the third to the north, the fourth at a group of supply wagons that the Mongol army needs to continue operating. Without supplies, without food and arrows and equipment, a cavalry army cannot function regardless of how mobile it is. The wagons burn. Supplies that took months to gather are destroyed in seconds. The Mongol army is not an army anymore. It is a mass of terrified individuals on terrified horses spread across 50 square kilometers of steppe, each man trying to get as far possible from the flying demon and its voice that kills. The unit cohesion that makes the Mongol cavalry effective, the ability to coordinate thousands of riders in complex tactical maneuvers, the signals and banners and officer network that turns 100,000 individuals into a single military instrument is gone. You destroyed it in 40 minutes. You find Genghis Khan.
Your FLIR has been tracking the command element throughout the engagement. A tight group of riders moving at controlled speed to the south, not panicking, maintaining formation discipline even as everything around them disintegrates. 20 riders, elite bodyguard, the Genghis Khan's personal guard, the Keshig, the finest warriors in the Mongol army. They are not running, they are moving with purpose. Genghis Khan does not run. You descend to 200 meters and match their speed. You fly alongside the group at 600 meters distance. Through your optical system, you can see individual riders clearly. One rider in the center of the group, not the largest, not the most elaborately dressed, but the one that every other rider in the group is oriented toward, watching, waiting for direction. The one that the entire group is arranged to protect. You could fire. You have the solution. The chain gun would reach that distance in under 1 second. The targeting computer has already calculated the lead angle for a rider moving at 40 kilometers per hour. 1 trigger squeeze, 3 seconds of fire. The Great Khan and his entire bodyguard would cease to exist. You hold fire. You fly alongside for 30 seconds. You let him see you. You let him understand that you have found him, that you can match his speed effortlessly, that there is nowhere on this steppe he can ride that you cannot follow. You let him understand that you were choosing not to fire. The rider in the center of the group raises his hand and the group stops. Genghis Khan stops his horse in the middle of the steppe with a flying metal demon hovering 200 meters away and turns to face you directly. You can see him on your optical display. An older man, weathered, not afraid, looking at you with an expression that your sensors cannot fully resolve at this distance, but that you somehow understand anyway. He is not afraid. He is thinking. He is doing what he has always done when he encountered something he did not understand. He is analyzing it, trying to understand its strengths and limitations, trying to find the weakness, trying to formulate a response. He united the Mongol tribes by understanding people. He conquered half the world by understanding terrain and weather and supply lines and enemy psychology. He is applying that same analytical mind to the flying demon hovering in front of him. After 30 seconds, he turns his horse and rides south at a walk. Not a retreat, a withdrawal, a tactical decision. The Great Khan has gathered enough information. His army is destroyed. His command structure is gone.
The flying demon cannot be fought with any weapon or tactic currently available to him. He is not going to waste men trying. He will withdraw. He will think. He will adapt. But there is nothing to adapt to. There is no counter to thermal imaging in a 30mm chain gun and 16 Hellfire missiles from a machine that moves at 300 kilometers per hour and never gets tired. There is no tactic in any military manual from any civilization in the medieval world that applies to this situation. The Mongol military system, the most sophisticated and effective military system of the medieval world, has no answer. Not because the Mongols aren't intelligent enough to find one, because there isn't one to find. The steppe is quiet now, except for the sound of your rotors. You climb to 500 meters and do a final FLIR sweep of the area. The plane that held 100,000 soldiers 2 hours ago is covered with scattered thermal signatures, moving in every direction away from the center. Supply wagons burning, standards fallen. The organized military force that had conquered everything from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe has been reduced to scattered survivors trying to find their horses. You turn toward home. Your ammunition is not depleted. You have fired 93 rounds of 30mm, 12 hydro rockets, 4 Hellfires. You have 1,107 rounds of chain gun ammunition remaining, 64 rockets, 12 Hellfires. You did not need most of what you carried. You never do. Behind you, on the steppe, Genghis Khan is riding south with his 20 bodyguards, the greatest conqueror in human history, the man who built the largest contiguous land empire ever created. He is riding south with 20 men, because that is all he has left. He will not conquer China this year. He will not reach Persia. He will not send his generals west toward Europe. The cities that were supposed to burn will not burn. The populations that were supposed to be massacred will not be massacred. The western expansion of the Mongol Empire that will reshape the entire medieval world ends today on this steppe because a single machine appeared above his army and dismantled it in 2 hours. He will spend the rest of his life trying to understand what he saw today. His shamans will give him answers involving spirits and demons and the anger of the sky god Tengri. He will not believe them. He has never been a man who accepted explanations that did not make tactical sense. He will die without understanding what destroyed his army. The sun is low on the western horizon. The steppe is orange and vast in every direction. Below you, the scattered survivors of the greatest cavalry force ever assembled are walking their exhausted horses across the grass, looking for their units, looking for their officers, finding neither. One helicopter, one pilot, one mission. Against the most mobile, most lethal, most tactically sophisticated army the medieval world ever produced. Against a conqueror who had never lost. Against a military system that conquered half the known world. The Mongols never stood a chance.